Hey folks, Daniel Dwyer here with a developer. We don't usually have developers here on the Now Playing Couch, Tom Francis, but since you're in town, we thought we'd invite you in. Thank you very much for joining us
Thank you very much
today. For those of you who don't know, you're the gentleman who used to write about video games, who then made his own, Gunpoint. It turns out that game was pretty okay.
Turns out.
You worked on that sort of on your weekends for a couple of years, right?
Strictly weekends. It took me 3 years, but that was because I was just working weekends. I didn't want to burn out, so I didn't work in the evenings or anything.
Yeah.
And I still did my day job. And then I didn't risk it all and to chase a beautiful dream. I just refused to take any risks whatsoever and just very, very slowly, gradually built this thing. And only after it came out and only after it was definitely successful enough that I could quit my job without making any kind of risk did I actually do that.
That's good. That's very, like, we were talking about the British-American thing. It's a very British way of doing it. Just making exactly sure that it all works out.
Extremely cautious and terrified.
But you're taking maybe a little bit of risk now because you've been working on your latest game, Heat Signature, for a couple of years as well. Yeah,
coming up on 2 years now. Turns out this one's harder than the point to make.
All right, let's jump straight in. I've been dying to check it out. I've seen a bunch of your YouTube videos. You're very good at sort of showing off your development process. But yeah, let's dive into the game itself. What is Heat Signature?
It is a top-down space stealth game in a randomly generated open world. And so you're on this tiny little ship that has no weapons, and you are flying around a huge galaxy. In fact, we have, while we've been talking, we've drifted off almost into nothingness. But that's okay, because I'm going to actually regenerate the galaxy. Hope that this doesn't crash the game.
That's yes, this is a very early build, correct?
It is extremely hot off the presses. I made this build about 40 minutes ago. And I've played it maybe twice.
Great. So if anything goes wrong, the beauty of solo development, as it were. Are you working this on your own? Do you have anyone else helping with graphics?
Yes, the art is done by John Roberts, who also did the art for Gunpoint.
Oh, cool.
And the music is by John Halpert. So this, basically when you start the game, it generates a galaxy for you to play in. And the galaxy is kind of like your playthrough. You're going to stay in that for the rest of the game, probably.
Okay.
And if you started a new one, it would be because, it would be like starting a new RPG character or something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to regenerate a couple more times to see if we get a nice one.
Oh, wow.
So this gives you an idea of how different they can be.
And are they very far away from each other, or can you fast travel to each one?
Oh, these are, so this is like the whole game world you're seeing right now.
Right.
And when I regenerate it, I'm just wiping the game world. Actually, the code for it says destroy the galaxy, generate the galaxy. So this looks like quite a nice one. Although it's kind of spotty. So it's very random right now. This is kind of like the way I start everything is first make it truly random, and then if that goes wrong, then
refine it a little bit. I like it. It's like Pillars of Eternity kind of thing happening here.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn the tips off for a sec because I know what they say.
That's why we have you here.
This is, that's you, and all of these white dots are space stations, and all the lines between them are trade routes.
Okay.
And the idea is that you work for one of these factions. So I actually didn't notice what faction we're in. Was it Shiga? I know, Foundry. So we work for the Foundry. They're a faction that built this whole place. And space stations are very placeholder at the moment. They will be carved out of asteroids.
Oh, wow.
And the idea is this is a kind of pocket of space that the Foundry was sent to investigate and see if it had any potential for a mining colony. They had all the equipment with them to build one. And it did, but it also bricked their FTL ship, so they're stranded there.
Okay.
They built a whole kind of society here, and then since then, the people who sent them here have been wondering, hey, where did those guys get to? And is there any money in it? And so they've shown up now to kind of muscle in on the territory, and a bunch of other factions are all there for their own reasons. Some of them selfish, some of them just to survive, and some of them kind of altruistic, maybe. So the idea is when you start the game, you pick a character, and they'll work for a particular faction. We're working for Foundry right now, and then when you go to a space station, you take a mission, and it zooms you out to the galaxy map and gives you a bunch of options for your missions. So each one of these will be something aboard a ship that you either need to steal or kill. In some cases, you have to hijack the ship.
So unlike, say, for instance, I've played a lot of Elite Dangerous over the past year. Unlike that, you are not just shipping things from base to base necessarily. You're actually going inside of the other ships and stealing
so this
stuff.
is whoever you play as, whichever faction you work for, you are a kind of space commando whose job it is to, I think the term I'm using is breacher, and that's someone who flies up to other spaceships and goes inside them and does kind of precise spy type work involving killing people or stealing things.
So it's Gunpoint in space. To be nice and reductive about your past 2 years of work.
So you'll see when you actually bought something, but for now, all I care about is which one of these trade routes do I want to break.
Right.
So each one of those is pointing to a different trade route, and when you do it, the idea is you're intercepting this really valuable piece of cargo or person, and when you steal or kill that thing, that enemy faction will abandon that trade route because it's too dangerous.
Oh, right, okay.
So in that way, you can kind of isolate enemy stations. So I'm just going to grab one for now, take an assassination.
Cool.
And run back to my ship. I've just got a little wrench as my main weapon here. I'm going to have it so that the various characters you play as will have some kind of starting equipment that's a little bit different. So if you specialize in assassinations, you might start with a silenced pistol. If you're a bounty hunter, you might have a non-lethal weapon.
Is there any other RPG style elements that come in specifically with your character? Or?
You have most of your abilities are based on just your equipment, and so that's stuff you find throughout your playthrough. But it's permadeath, but the galaxy is persistent. So when I do this mission, which I'll definitely succeed at and not screw up, it's going to break this trade route, and that trade route will be broken forever for everyone.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, not for like other players, but I mean for all your future lives. Every time you start the game, you'll be playing as a new person in this galaxy. The galaxy itself will bear all the scars and marks of your missions. So,
do you carry over any of the resources at all, or can you go get those, or are you very much starting all over again?
So your character loses all their stuff, and we kind of skip time forwards a week. So the idea is that like scavengers would have taken all your shit, so you can't just. I didn't want to incentivize you to just spend the start of every life finding the corpse of your last character to loot it all, because that doesn't make any sense.
Pull you in a completely different direction, maybe.
So anyway, this is the ship with the assassination target aboard, and if I can get close enough to the airlock, then I can dock with it.
So it didn't see you because the scanners were at the front, was that right?
Yeah, so it's got a vision cone there. It doesn't have any heat sensors, which is the other type of ways that it can detect you.
There's your buddy.
I think we just flew past a station, actually.
Oh, really?
So yeah, this is my target. Oh, fuck.
Has he killed you?
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Is he going to throw you out?
Just screwed up the easiest mission.
Oh, amazing.
Okay, so he hasn't actually killed me, he's just hit me in the head with a wrench.
And threw you out?
I'm not quite unconscious. I'm just about able to use remote control from my ship, and he's kicked me out of the airlock.
Oh my God.
So I'm remote controlling my ship to come and pick myself up. So that's me, and if I can actually manage to catch myself, then I'm okay. So I caught myself.
All right, it's great.
There was a bar at the bottom of the screen there showing how much blood I have left. When you run out of blood, you pass out and you can no longer save yourself. And
he's going to be so pissed he didn't finish you off.
So yeah, so he's going to be very surprised when I walk back in the airlock.
But slightly less blood. But
the idea is like this type of infiltration you're doing is kind of relatively new. You know, this is a ship that can avoid all the standard heat sensors. It's incredibly stealthy. It's incredibly fast. It can get past all the locks on any airlock, and so the fact that you're boarding the ship at all is kind of a bit of a shock to them. And when you're aboard, so my excuse there is that I just changed the controls like half an hour ago, so they're better for new players, but not so good for someone who's really used to playing the old version. So
sure, Tom.
I'm going to use slow-mo. And that's currently is unlimited, so now we're in slow motion. I'm doing that because I'm about to throw my wrench at this guy.
Oh, wow. Oh my God!
It's all right. I got a very thick skull, so I can recover from that. I almost knocked him into a urinal, which would have been cool. So I had a wrench. I've just taken this guy's gun, but there are risks associated with using a gun because, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a big white circle around me, so all around here. And that is who will hear it if I fire.
Okay.
So all these guys in turret seats there will all hear it if I use it now. So I think I'm going to rush out and just smack this guy. And I'll take his wrench for good measure in case I want to throw it later.
What are you going to base the slow-mo on in the final version? Is it going to be...
I thought about having it be like a sort of adrenaline like tablet that you take, but actually I'm really liking it being unlimited. So maybe it'll just be kind of like a recharge thing. The risk is if you make something a consumable item, then a certain kind of player, including me, will just hoard them forever and never use them. And slow-mo is awesome. You should be using it all the time. So it does make the game pretty easy. So it probably should be limited to some extent. But also it's really good for new players because if you don't know how combat works, it's extremely volatile. You know, you fire a gun. Almost everyone who fires a gun dies the first time they play. So
it's a good safety net.
I am going to shoot this guy because he's my assassination target. Oh, for
no!
fuck's sake.
Is he going to bring you out again?
Believe it.
Amazing. He's like, I thought I got rid of you last time.
Oh my God, this guy's my nemesis. Okay, we're going to fast forward. We're going to get back really fast. Every time you get hit like that, you lose a bit of blood permanently. So your timer is tighter next time. But luckily, I'm fairly experienced at doing this now. I've died a lot in this game, so I'm going to try and avoid that shit.
Honestly, I know it was like, you know, unintentional. Let's call it emergent or something. But like the idea of rushing after your body with your spaceship is tremendous.
When I first boarded, I was going to knock this guy in the head with a wrench.
Yeah.
When he hurt me once, I came back and was going to shoot him. Now I think I've got to blow him up. If I can get him into a room with a fuel barrel, then we'll be set. Oops.
So what was the inspiration for this then? Because obviously the lazy journalist for me would pull in games like FTL and Hotline Miami and stuff.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with those comparisons. FTL is definitely a conscious inspiration. Oh my god, I just knocked that guy out of the seat as well. Okay, so this guy's coming now. And
is there a
I'm sure Captain Forever had a big influence, because that's a game where ships are made out of these squares, and I didn't consciously sort of take that from Captain Forever, but here we go, he's going to the fuel barrel run. This is perfect. Okay, yes.
Oh my god! But just like the last time.
So I'm fine. I'm not bleeding. He didn't hit me or anything.
Okay.
I just got sucked out into space, that's just business as usual for you as a space commando. And now I can pick myself up, and that guy is finally dead.
That's excellent. I wasn't expecting the ship to decompress like that.
Yeah. So that happens. Anytime there's an explosion, it destroys the whole room that it happens in, and that rips people out through vacuum. You can also split a ship in half if you like, if you plant explosives. So this thing here, that was the trade route that was going along. It actually went way past its destination because there's no waypoint system yet, but we've broken it now.
Wow.
And if we break that trade route as well, this station will be isolated.
Right.
And then we can capture it, hopefully. So I'm going to go back to my foundry station. You can fast forward at any time, just like you can slow-mo.
Just as well, in a space game, that's probably
Yeah. There's arguments against proper fast travel where you teleport. I don't think I want to do that, but I also don't want you to be bored on long journeys, so you might as well just skip it all.
That must be difficult for a game set in space as a developer to try and make a game that's sort of has the vastness of space and gives you that feeling of distance, but without forcing people to be bored.
I found actually, so you zoom really fast in this game, and that kind of actually takes away some of the sense of scale. So I'm kind of playing around with ways that we kind of smoothly adjust the zoom as you're flying around. The faster you're going, the more we pull out, and the slower it pulls out, the better it feels, basically. That sounded wrong.
You heard it here first, kids. The slower you pull out, better it feels.
So I'm actually at a shop now. So I just got some money for that mission, and I can buy any of these weapons. You can see the traits of the weapon down the side, and the ones I picked up, all the ones I stole are actually just standard pistols because they came from generic guards. But now that I've got some cash, I can't afford this one. That one's got loads of projectiles. This one's silenced. Silent shotgun's pretty good, and I can't afford it. But this one's quiet, and I can afford it. And that one is quiet and rapid fire, so maybe I'll go for that one.
So that means you're the cone of influence.
This is the only one I can buy. There was no decision to be made there. So yeah, you can probably see the circle now. So on the playing background, that's the kind of noise radius. We'll obviously make that a bit clearer. And then let's get a mission to break that other trade route.
Cool.
Oh wait, hang on. We can actually capture that station.
It's already isolated.
Yeah, it was already isolated. And hopefully, we'll get off with that. No, but we can take out. Let's take out this one. That will make one isolated. So the one that is already isolated, we might as well just grab that. So I can just click that to make that trade route.
So what's the end goal, if there is one? Or is this just an emergent world where you can just figure out what you want to do yourself?
It's pretty sandboxy. Right now, you can work for any faction, and every character you play is basically the same. The plan is that each character you choose already works a faction, and you'll just work for them, and you'll have to expand their territory a certain amount. And I'm thinking that when the game starts, we'll ask you to pick a faction, and then you are working for them until you expand their territory enough that they are kind of stable. So that faction's in trouble, you work for them until they're not in trouble, and then you unlock the ability to play as this other faction. One of the new characters you can play as works for the enemy, and you play as them, and you kind of see their perspective. There's not a lot of story stuff because it's all randomly generated, but you will see on this screen where you're picking mission, you see it says against Shiga. You'll find out what Foundry think of Shiga. Shiga is the company that sent Foundry here, and then came to kind of take this place back once they found out that it was full of these incredibly precious gases and minerals and stuff. And from Foundry's perspective, Shiga betrayed them. From Shiga's perspective, Foundry betrayed them, and they disagree about the fundamental facts of what happened. And so your arc of understanding the backstory of this place will be strongly influenced by what faction you pick in the first place, what faction unlocks next, and that kind of process of seeing the other side of each little kind of conflict will keep going and be kind of different for every player. So, which one was I going to do? This one. And also, when you accept a mission, fire your gun. In celebration, apparently.
Hooray! Just blast off. I like it. So presumably the space stations themselves are more difficult to take over than are they?
Well, so right now we just take it over automatically once it's isolated.
Okay.
You can just you click a button and it makes that trade route. I would like you to have to actually sneak inside the space station, and as you saw, the space station's just empty rooms at the moment, so there's no point in doing a mission for that just yet. But yeah, like the idea is that once you isolated them, you can capture them. That's how you expand your territory. That's how you progress. And this ship,
It's got similar thing. It's got only a couple of sensors at the front, or that's the gear going, right?
This one, I've got to hijack it. So I'm going to sneak in, and I think we'll switch to wrench, because that, as quiet as that gun is, it's not quiet enough that I'm totally sure I won't wake anyone up. Because the turret gunners can't see you.
You can wrench as many. Oh, man. That wrench made a little bit of noise.
I think he kind of just like glimpsed me as I went around the corner.
Oh, right.
So it is, like, as you can tell, it's quite a game of sudden death.
Yeah.
A game that even the guy who made it can't actually play competently.
There's a twitchiness to it, or for sure.
Yeah, so, but it's also forgiving, right? I haven't actually died yet. I've just been injured and ejected into space. And so I want it to be kind of like a forgiving roguelike, one where you can always see your death coming and you always have a way to avoid it. And so bleeding out, that's the death that you can see coming. Suddenly getting shot from round a corner.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh, the backhander.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. What I was trying to do, which was maybe a bit ambitious, was sneak to the cockpit before I take everyone out, and then zoom out, and then I can set autopilot to my destination.
Oh, really?
Can't quite click on it because this mouse is not what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's a...
So now this ship is just going to fly there automatically, and I don't need to be in the cockpit, so now I can take my time clearing out the rest of it.
This guy, nobody, like, did we just turn? They just kind of felt the dampeners.
Yeah, they assume the commander knows what he's doing.
They're like, that's not my pay grade.
But in theory, if you're going in slow-mo, you should be able to catch your wrench because you've got time to actually like hit the prompt. Should I try it? Yeah. Okay, this is ultra slow-mo. It comes towards me. Okay, it wasn't going fast enough. Yes.
Nice. Beautiful. the things you do to pass time in space.
Yeah.
What was your sort of main impetus for going down this route? Because it is, especially with somebody who's made their first game, you'd expect the follow-up to be relatively similar. Like we talked about Hotline Miami 2 was very much in the vein of the first game. So why the fundamental shift in perspective from side on to top down, and why space instead of spies?
I'm always, hey, these trays are cool. I'm always keen to do something new. The idea of doing Gunpoint 2 is not really appealing to me. When I was done with Gunpoint, I was really done with Gunpoint. I didn't want to work on it anymore. It had been, consuming all my weekends for 3 years. And so luckily it did well enough that I, had the freedom to take on something a bit riskier and just experiment with stuff. I tried 2 different prototypes. I tried one that was more like Gunpoint and had a grappling hook in it, and that was going pretty well, but it was just harder going. And I had this idea halfway through, and well, not halfway through, but like after a couple of months of experimentation. And this idea, I already knew how to make it in GameMaker. I could see that it was doable, and it just seemed more exciting. Just seemed like it had more. It was more novel. I just haven't seen anything quite like this before. So yeah, that's mainly why. So we missed our destination slightly, but it's okay. I can board back on. And I think, did I clear out the whole place in the end? It seems pretty safe.
You've definitely got an eye for them. You've been spotting them, and I haven't been spotting them quite yet.
So actually, what we should do is let's mark it to the right place. It'll turn around, and while it's traveling, actually, once it's delivered, I think I'm going to blow it up. Because it doesn't, in the final game, you'll be delivering it to a station, it'll kind of go into some kind of port, and there'll be a nice animation for that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have that working yet.
And you'll fire your gun because you completed the mission.
Yeah, of course, in celebration. Maybe I'm going to fly it in manually, actually, because it's really having trouble with the autopilot. Oh shit, it's a really fast ship, that's why. So when you steer it manually, it kind of has a bit of swing to it, as you might have noticed. And if I start walking around, then the whole universe is spinning around.
Oh man, no, this is like some Sandra Bullock shit. I can't deal with that. Where are you based close to London? Are you in Bath, or are you?
Yeah, in Bath.
You're just down the road from your fellow massive space sim developers, Hello Games.
Yeah, I guess so. Not too far. They're in Guildford, right?
Yeah. Have you ever talked to Sean Murray and those folks about their efforts trying to make these types of games? You've both taken on rather large-scale projects.
It's hard not to sort of see your game as suffering slightly in comparison to No Man's Sky.
I guess, yeah. Like he's getting invited onto bloody.
This game is never really about scale or anything, but any game now where you zoom out and show like a big galaxy inevitably gets compared to that. This is much more about, for me, it's about like the sort of nitty-gritty mechanics of boarding a ship and all the sneaky things you can do. And the scale of the galaxy is kind of like a just context. It's just so here's why you're doing it. You're going to break this trade route. You're going to expand your faction's territory. You don't have to care about that stuff at all. Hopefully, the actual game of infiltrating a spaceship will be fun enough that.
Yeah, I like the idea of exploring the various different. It's like, you know, figuring out then when you get explosives, like how that blends into all the rules you already know about this game, like how you can use that stuff to your advantage and stuff.
So I'm gonna place a jetpack now. That's like a C4 style explosive, and I place one there and one maybe over here.
So that'll blow up those.
Oh wait, hang on.
Fuel canisters as well, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to hopefully rip the ship in half. Here's one. I've cheated, so I gave myself so much inventory that it's actually hard to scroll through it all.
Make sure you're on the right side of that, but
okay. Yeah, I think it's the side I want to be.
That's fantastic. So presumably, if you were trying to attack somebody who was in one side of the ship, or like a little partition, somebody who's like on like a little wing of the ship, you can just blow it off before you kill them.
One of the next things I've planned is guards who are sort of heavily armored and they're immune to your bullets and immune to your wrenches and stuff. And so if you want to get rid of one of those guys, you've got to suck them into space. Or actually blow them up in the blast. So do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I'll have a go. I'll pull it over. So yeah, apologies to everyone. If this starts looking real gnarly all of a sudden, it's because I've jumped in.
Luckily, I've set a really low bar for you.
Great.
By getting killed like 3 times in the same mission.
That's true. All right, so I'm guessing I'm left-clicking.
Yep, left-click first.
It's controlling as you would imagine if you were attempting to do this.
Yeah, and you can right-click to slow down.
Okay, that's what that does.
And also, if you're flying up to a ship, right-click will match your speed to it while you hold it down.
Excellent. So I should go to this guy here?
Yeah. So we actually succeeded in that mission. So there is like an isolated station down there. So you might want to go kind of...
and this one here?
Yeah, that's the one you got to capture. So actually, the one you're heading to is perfect.
This guy?
Yeah, you should be able to make the new trade route from there.
Ooh, do I glow when I go faster?
It's your heat. So the more you thrust, the hotter you get. And that, when you encounter a ship with heat sensors, that makes it harder to approach them because you have to wait for your heat to cool off before you can kind of get past the sensor and dock. We haven't found one of those yet because it's a randomized game, so things go differently. So,
right, so I gotta go up to this guy here, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Stations should be solid. They're not right now. Like I say, they're going to be carved out of a massive asteroid, so it's the asteroid part that will be
excellent.
solid.
Well, that was easier to dock than my first time in Elite Dangerous, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, so here are the 4 missions currently.
Yeah, so you should, that station capture one, that will create the trade route to there.
Cool.
And that's just kind of a free thing you just do.
Should I do that or do something
just
else?
do it. You'll still be able to take a mission after you do this.
Oh, cool, perfect.
So
all right.
it's just.
Oh yeah, done and dusted. Oh yeah, already there.
I think the way that might work is like you click it and then a ship actually leaves the station to that one and kind of forges the trade route as it goes.
All right, so we've got cargo here, hijack a theft. I think I like what's the theft? So we haven't done one of those.
Yeah, so that's just stealing like a kind of bit of prototype technology.
Okay.
And right now, I think it might just upgrade your ship a bit, but the longer term plan is that the actual kind of pool of loot that you'll be finding aboard ships and buying from shops will be quite limited at first. And your theft missions will be to steal component parts to kind of invent new stuff.
Right.
And in that way, if you invent the concussion grenade, then that's available for all your future characters as well.
Oh, cool. It
So
exists
kind of like,
within the universe.
Yeah, so it's another level of persistence that we can do.
Well, I see it pays out the most, which probably means it's the hardest. Will I give it a go, or?
Right now, the economy of the game was added yesterday.
Right.
And so the pay of a mission is actually completely random.
Random?
There's
All right, I'm
no
gonna
correlation.
do it then. Let's see if I can pull this one off.
I think you just planted a jetpack. Oh yeah.
Oh, I did, because it's the last button I pressed.
Yep.
You know what? I'm just gonna walk out. I'm just gonna walk out. I'm just gonna be.
I don't know what happens if you destroy a mission computer on a station because no one's ever tried that before.
Maybe let's see if it's still there when we come back later,
Yeah.
and then we'll see if that's a doable. What's the what's the fastest way to go
click.
then? Middle click. Right there.
And then F if you want to fast forward.
Oh yeah.
So you kind of hold it down if you want to keep fast forwarding. And the autopilot spends half your journey accelerating and half of it decelerating.
Oh great.
So there's no actual upper speed limit. It's just a question of
Good fuel efficiency.
yeah. And the kind of upgrades that you're about to steal currently give you better thrusters and better cooling systems.
So did you say left click matches the speed?
Right click,
Oh, right
yeah.
click. Yeah, there it is.
And then that makes it easier to dock.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing we added because most people, like everyone struggles a little bit with docking the first time they do it, which
Yeah,
is as it
amen.
should be because it's a difficult thing, right? But we also found that like just about 10% or 5% of people just never got it. No matter
Oh,
how long they
really?
spent, they just, if that thing's moving and they're moving,
It's just a perception thing. They could never.
they can never take into account their own velocity. So if
Right.
they're going super fast this way and they need to go left, they just thrusted left, which of course goes diagonally left,
Yeah.
and then they're whatever direction
That's
they need
funny.
to move,
Just some
they would
people
do
just
that.
can't
Yeah, so
conceptualize it. Or...
I had to watch them kind of struggle with it again and again and again, and finally realized what they need is something that matches their speed to their destination, and then from there they can take
Whoa. So we just went past the space station then.
it. Yep.
How do I change weapon?
Number keys, or you can press Q to cycle through things.
I do
I
not want the
cheated,
pistol.
so you've got so much stuff that you can't see at all.
Thanks, Tom. That's perfect. All right, so where's my bit of kit I need to get? Over there.
And there,
Okay.
and it's behind a locked door, so you're gonna have to use that orange computer to open it. But I would
no,
advise
this
clearing
guy.
out the area a bit first.
That guy's got a gun. Oh, so if I unlock the door, will they probably get wise to it?
Not so much that, but just while you're sitting in that seat, it's
Right.
quite possible for them to come down a corridor. It's
Yeah,
all about
stuff
like
here.
your attention is your most limited resource here. It's very hard to keep an eye on them and do something else at the same time.
Right. So I better kill them.
So all these
Oh,
doors
sure.
with padlocks on them are different lock levels, and that's level 1. I think the one for your objective is level 2. And from the central computer, you'll have a certain number of like hack points or hacks you can get away with, basically. And those will be used up when you bypass those doors. But you can also find key cards, and if you find a level 1 key card for this faction,
Bam.
then you'll be able to open all level 1 doors on all
cool.
of their ships. So it's kind of like getting better at infiltrating their.
Just about got away with that one.
The guys with the wrenches are sort of, if you know they're coming, it's
You can-
pretty easy. You just kind of swipe your wrench madly. You can throw it at them, which is kind of like a finesse move, but it frequently bounces back and hits you in the face.
As we've seen.
The elegant thing to do is throw it at them. When it bounces back, kind of sidestep. And of course, the ultra elegant thing is to sidestep and catch it.
I'm gonna try and do this.
Okay, so yeah, if you hold down Shift, you can scroll the view around, and move the mouse while Shift is held. So
yes,
it's kind of like panning your view. So yeah, if you just click on that door, that'll bypass it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Is there anything else I should maybe open while I'm here?
No, I think if you're, I'm just very worried for you. Like,
Sitting there in the chair.
sitting in those seats is.
I feel like I would just it's like when I dialed into the Matrix or something. I'm just sitting there like a.
Yeah, and if you look at the guys who are sitting in seats, you'll see they have like a sort of VR helmet thing on, so they're totally immersed and they can't
Bam.
see you at all. That guy had a custom pistol actually.
Oh, can I
So
pick
you
it
can
up?
take that. Yeah.
I'll have that. Oh, I don't want to use it though. Give me that.
Yeah, we can't actually see what its properties are because they gave you so many fucking items.
Oh, so left, is that slow down?
Yeah, so right mouse and slow down,
How do I
and
throw?
space is throw. Nice.
Look at that.
And didn't even knock yourself out.
All right, let's steal this thing.
Hooray.
Sweet, already completed. Can I mess about in here then? Or?
Yeah.
All right, let's see
away.
if I can. I'm gonna try and blow something
So
up.
there was actually, I talked you out of opening any other doors, but there were some. In fact, yeah, the cockpit is sealed off, so this is like a ship that would be slightly harder to hijack
Sorry, let me.
if you didn't have easy access to the door controls.
Oh,
It's Shift to pan around.
all right, there
And
you go. What's this? Is that like the shower room?
it's like a kind of freezer for food and stuff. There's no food in it. The placement of those, again, I start with total randomness, and then we kind of tweak from there. So right now it can create just a bathroom in the middle of a massive hallway.
Or urinals, like we saw
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah. So
What are the? Is it ammunition?
yeah, so ammunition for various things. If you look down the left-hand side, you've got ammo counts for all your different weapons there,
Oh yeah, over here.
and you've got loads.
So I've got. This will take too many hacks to get in anyway. So we've
Yeah.
got 2 left. So I could get in here, which has got some
So
sick
that's
bulldogs.
yeah. So you've got a shotgun, so that's shotgun ammo. That's quite good. You've got 2 left.
I got 2, yeah.
So I'll take 1 to get to the cockpit if you want to do that.
Where's
and
that?
That also leads to that door. I'm pretty sure.
This guy here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need to get through there to get to both the cockpit and also if you scroll up, there's another bulldog shells.
So I could get up there.
So you've got 2 for 1 there.
Hooray! Let's go kill some people. I might use my gun though.
Okay.
Should I use the custom pistol I just got? Oh no, custom shotgun.
Custom shotgun, that's pretty good.
This
so that, you see the smaller radius. It's not so much the roaming guards that you have to worry about, it's all the seated guards. They all get up when they
Right. Can I shoot this? Will he die if I hit him from here?
Yeah, so you're safe there.
And then channel them all in?
Yeah. Well, they actually won't hear because you see they're just outside the radius.
Oh my god!
Shotguns are quite powerful.
I'm not sure was it that killed him or him hitting his head off the wall afterwards?
So they also drop their weapon when they die, and if they're... Okay, that guy did hear now, so he's coming for you. So you want to right mouse to slow mo. Luckily, he headed towards the sound.
There you go.
Rather than your location. Nice. So yeah, as you see how far his wrench went when you shot him? Yeah. If there's someone standing behind him, the wrench can knock out the guy behind him. Brilliant.
What are these discs? What are these things that? Oh, that's the ship controls.
Yeah, so you can fly the ship around, sit there. You can also sit in the turret seat and fire a missile. And in fact,
does that blow me up?
Once you're done looting the place, it would be good to sit in the cockpit and then any of these guys, the gunners you've left alive, they don't know the ship's been hijacked. So if you tell the ship to fire, they will all fire. So that guy's just a wrench guy, so...
Ah, damn it, damn it!
I was about to say, as long as you hold the slow-mo key, you should be fine.
He's like, all right, get out of my ship. I love that that's how to dispose of people. It makes sense, because you can't... Am I dead?
Okay, that's my fault, because I died so much when I was playing that you'd lost so much blood that there was no blood left.
Excellent.
But if you click New Life, then your next character will have like a fresh stock of blood. Excellent. That's a weird way to say you're just going to be a new person.
Yeah, well, isn't that how it works? It's if you lose all your blood.
Or it might just be taking a really long time. Sometimes it takes a really long time to start a new life, which is strange because it's not actually generating a new galaxy. It's just kind of delete player, create player.
Yeah.
But for some reason, sometimes it takes a long time.
So do you think people are going to... what's the incentive, I guess, as a player to keep playing with another person? Do you think people are basically going to try and take over the entire universe on their own as one player? Like the sort of true roguelike experience?
Probably not. I imagine that's going to be extremely difficult. I'm also not necessarily encouraging you to try and dominate the whole galaxy as one faction.
Right.
Like I say, once you get this faction to a certain degree of like success, once they've got enough stations that they can survive, that's when you unlock the other factions. And I think if you've been playing as the Foundry all this time and then suddenly you get the opportunity to play as Shiga, then you'll try it out, right? And you might like them. They might have, Shiga are a kind of ruthless corporation who assassinate people on a regular basis, so their shops are going to have stealthy equipment, silenced weapons and stuff. Whereas Foundry are kind of engineers, and so they have better tech for your ship. There'll be a faction that is strictly non-lethal. They'll never...
cool.
They'll always want you to keep people alive. And they're like the law enforcement from the nearest planet, which is a long way away. But,
so there's a variety in there which you think players are going to like warm to?
Yeah, so I hope you'll just kind of mess around and try different factions. You'll probably like one more than the others. But variety is the key. And it's kind of, that system is partly inspired by, there's a Skyrim mod, where instead of playing as the savior of the world, who's a prisoner who is destined to slay all the dragons and be the Dragonborn, you just spawn as a random NPC. So you might just be a barmaid in Solitude, or you might just be a hunter camping out in the Rift. And I love the idea that each time you play is a new person. Each life is a new person. And when that person dies, they're dead forever. And when you play as a new character, you're playing as a different person.
What was the big circle around the ship when I first got it? It was red.
That's the heat sensor.
Oh, that was it. Oh, I killed him.
Nice.
Eat it. I'm going to take your ammunition while I'm here. What's this thing here?
That is the heat sensor. So if you walk over there and you press E on it, actually zoom out before you press E and walk up a little bit and then press E.
That's what I get there and then go. Oh, you can just straight up turn it off.
You've disabled it.
Wow.
So it's not, obviously you're already aboard, so it doesn't help you that much right now. Although if you need to make a hasty escape, that's very useful because.
Oh wow! So I didn't cop on, but the heat signature is tied to how much.
Yeah, I was watching you do it, and I thought you were very intelligently keeping your thrust below the threshold.
I didn't realize
at the bottom of the screen.
Well, it was kind of intuitive because I saw that it was cooling down as I was getting to it, so I was like, oh, I need to slow down then, I guess.
Yeah.
Excellent. You know what? Actually, I really want to blow something up. Oh, I don't have any guns.
I can cheat and give you one if you like.
Oh, please do.
So I do T, and then just pick up all this stuff. You get a bypass tool, a weapon, and a jetpack.
Great.
So you can plant the
Impulse
jetpack,
101.
or you can shoot. Yeah, exactly. Or IDKFA.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, IDDQD was the other one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was invincibility, I think, and IDKFA. Was
You
it?
know,
Did it stand for something like ID keys something?
Fucking
ammo?
every ammo, yeah. Something,
Keys
yeah.
fucking ammo.
I mean, they had a BFG in the game, so who knows? Oh, look at this. It's like it's the thruster.
Yeah, so that'll make your ship accelerate faster
wow.
and make it more maneuverable.
Oh god.
Doesn't even,
Oh god. Oh god.
okay,
Oh god.
hold right mouse. And now that guy's going to hit, and it takes a long time for guns to reload.
It does! Oh, so close! And the guy's like, what's that? What's that?
It's actually possible to dodge bullets.
Oh, nice.
In slow-mo, because they are slow enough. So press tab now, and chase the white arrow.
Now, this looked like the hardest thing ever when you do it. So this is a real
So the
test
bar at
of
the
your
bottom of the screen
controls.
is your blood leaving your body.
Get to it, get to it. This is some George Clooney shit right
it's close.
here.
Yes,
All right.
nice.
That's really satisfying.
So eventually there'll be we'll cut away the top of your ship, and you'll see inside as you land in your pilot seat, and the medical droid comes down and seals over you and heals you up.
Excellent. How far away do you think you are from launch? Do you
no
even
idea.
know? You seem very much like I don't know. It's like I always find this when we talk to especially individual developers. Like the process is so important, right? Like the actual.
Yeah, it's really an exploration. You're finding out what the game could be,
Yeah.
and this was going to be a quick 10-minute action game where every time you start, your ship is blown up, and this is just the escape pod.
Right.
And you use the escape pod to hunt down the guy who blew up your ship, and once you
good
did that,
concept.
the whole universe would reset, and it would just do it all again, and it would just be a kind of like. I'm always inspired by Spelunky for everything. And,
Right.
The quick 10-minute session of Spelunky was what I was originally going for. And then that was just turned out to be really hard to build. So even though it was a short game, I still had to build these systems to have these objects moving around the galaxy that also work like levels.
Of course,
and
yeah.
they can be modularly destroyed, and they split in the right way, and they have physics and all this stuff. You know, when you throw an item, you are engaging in a physics simulation, which is aboard another object in another physics simulation. And so it's a complex game to make. And then I thought, well, if I've made the basis for this whole world, all this stuff is flying around independently, and it can be vast, why not make it an actual open world? And why not give like a strategy layer to your missions, and give you kind of factions that you can influence the war between.
Yeah, kind of evolved like rather organically, it seems, from that little idea.
And so the kind of long-term thing, I mean, depending on how hard it is to make the game itself, which isn't finished yet, I think these ships need to be a lot more kind of challenging and have, not that I didn't die, but I want it to be more about little segments of the ship where the doors are all sealed off and you're planning, okay, how do I get past these three guys? And
Right.
they're just standing there, and you've got to plan ahead.
Much like what you achieved in Gunpoint, really.
Yeah,
which is
hopefully.
like-
So, I mean, that part I'm sort of assuming I can do. I haven't done it yet. But like you say, that's kind of how Gunpoint worked. And so hopefully I have some experience there that I can draw on.
All right, I'm gonna blow up this ship to finish our stream here.
Okay.
To like do so. So what's the best way, do you think, to?
So when you plant it, it will destroy all the nearby modules. It might
Okay.
actually, so
Would that do all those, or it might not be big enough?
try, with the cursor over yourself, press space, and that will drop it, and you can always pick it back up again.
Okay.
So the thing to pay attention to is there's that tiny little circle in the middle.
Yeah.
And any module that's touching that at all will be destroyed. So I think
Okay.
it'll be the one you're standing in and the one below. And so you could certainly blow off like the back half of the ship. I could give you more jetpacks if you like.
Yeah, why not? IDDQD all over.
So if you just hammer E and pick up all that stuff, and then you're going to have a lot of custom pistols. Careful not to throw the pistols away too violently, because if a pistol hits a wall, it will go off and then just fires in a random direction. I had a great moment the other day where I threw a shotgun at someone, and it happened to hit him barrel first, so all the shells hit him at point blank range, and he just flew across the room.
Oh, really? Oh,
So you dropped the detonator
I
there.
did, yeah.
You probably
that
want to
was
pick that
probably
up.
a good idea. How do I put in more
It's
of
always
these?
good to, like, while standing in the blast radius of your jetpack, throw the detonator at the wall. Just, what's the worst going to happen?
I literally had an intake of breath when I did that a second ago.
God, actually, they can't go off by accident at the moment, but that's what I should add. Is
Yeah.
when you throw it hard enough at the wall, it just blows up. So how cool would that be to rig a whole ship and then don't even click the detonator, just throw it at somebody?
Like a 50% chance, like a roll to like if it lands on the big red button on the detonator. How do I put more of these guys down?
So you need to switch to them. So you can press Q to cycle through inventory, and number 9 is a detect. So actually,
So spacebar.
yeah. And so spacebar throws, but if the cursor's over you, drop it.
Oh, right.
So-
hey, you know what? That's actually
yeah, that's
pretty
good enough.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And press 9 again to switch to another one.
And then I'll over me, so it's just there.
And then once you're out of the blast radius, I would suggest.
Like here, right here, is that enough?
Yeah, that should be okay. And then you just double click to detonate them all.
Double click, left click.
Double left click.
I'm
yeah.
so terrified. All right, here we go. Oh man! Oh, I thought I got sucked back in.
Yeah, that can happen actually if you're kind of. You can fly out of one ship and fly into another. We had a guy who got ejected from, got kicked out of a ship and was bleeding to death, and didn't manage to pick himself up, but then just mostly then just landed in another ship's airlock just by chance.
Oh, really?
Just in the infinite
vastness
vastness of
of
space.
space.
He landed in an airlock, and I love that because. You have to imagine what the crew's reaction to that is. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's bleeding to death. He's unconscious virtually, and he's just slides into your airlock.
How did he get here?
Puddle of blood.
Awesome. All right, that's Heat Signature. Thank you so much, Tom, for coming in.
No worries.
And
Thanks for
showing it
playing.
off. Yeah, so you've been working on it for 2 years, sometime in the next future. But how can people keep in contact with its development? Because I know you're very vocal about what you're working on. It's like, I don't know, you've a fascinating window into the experience.
Thanks. So I'm pretty open about development, and its website, I'm very excited to say, is spaceships.cool.
Really? .cool?
That's its URL.
You can get
Spaceships.cool.
TLDs.
No one had spaceships.cool.
Really?
And so,
man,
yeah,
someone at NASA's web team is just like, oh, that Tom Francis, how dare he? All right, so everything at spaceships.cool.
Yep.
Go check it out. And here, we're done here from videogames.com, which is about as good a URL that we have, I guess.
Yeah,
that's right. We need to get. Can we get videogames.cool, Tay? Can we sort that out? We can look for
I
it.
bet Idle Thumbs have video.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, somebody else has gotten in there, absolutely. Tom, thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate your time. Check out spaceships.cool, and for more wonderful live streams and demos, make sure you stay tuned to GameSpot.com. Hit subscribe on Twitch, or hit follow on Twitch, rather, and make sure you join us at GameSpot.com as well. We'll see you next time. Thanks to Eric Tay for work in production in the back, and we're out here. Adios. That was dope.
That was fun.